You're really in for a treat with this video. This is David's 2003 Blobeye STi Spec C. But at the end of the video, if you can hang around, we have a treat for you. It's the video that's the most requested video that we've had so far. And we'll show you at the end of the video what it is. And if you could in the comments, please post your questions and we can answer them in the next featured video. Good morning from Okinawa, Japan, home of OkiSubies. Today, we're breaking down this 2003 Blobeye STi Spec C. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Alright, thanks for sticking around to help us break down this Blobeye STi. This is a 2003 Blobeye STi Spec C. And it's a pretty special car, not just to the owner of the car who gets to drive this thing daily, but to me as well. The Blobeye STi is what got me into Subarus. I used to work at a dealership called Randy Marion Chevrolet in Mooresville, North Carolina. And Randy Marion Jr. had a Subaru dealership, and that's where I first laid eyes on the Blobeye STi. And the rest is history. I always sought to buy one of my own, but back then in 2008, it was like, they were like $24,000 for a Blobeye STi, and that was just too much for me coming straight out of high school. And it wasn't until I came to Japan that I owned my first Subaru, and one of them was a Blobeye STi. Awesome. DCCD 6-speed. We did a lot to that car. I gymkhana that car and raced it. Check that video out. And it was a really good time. I then sold it because I wanted something with a little more space, and that's how I got into the GF8. So when thinking about Subarus, the first body style here in Japan that was introduced was the GC8, the Impreza GC8, right? And they started back in 1990s and ended in 2000 model, right? So the 2000 model GC8 was the last year that they made it before going and switching over the body style to the GDB, the bug eyes. And so the GC8 weighs around 1,250 kilograms on the low side for like the Type RAs and 1,300 kilograms on the heavy side, like with the GF8s. The Spec C here weighs 1,370 kilograms, and the brother, the Blobeye STi, weighs 1,430 kilograms. So that's like a 132 pound difference, or a 60 kilogram difference, 132 pound difference. So let's talk about a little bit about the differences between the Spec C and the STi. There's quite a bit, and there's some in this frame here that we can see right off the bat. One, on the A-pillar, the antenna is made into the A-pillar for the radio. You have to pull that out physically to be able to get reception for your radio. Secondly, it has a roof scoop on top that is actually functional. It forces air into the cabin of the vehicle, which is really bendy, really useful when on hot days when you don't want to have the AC on. Also, it has no side skirts, comes from the factory with no side skirts, so all the holes for the clips are gone. Let's talk about the interior. The interior has quite a few differences. So the interior on this car shares the same interior as the Forester STi. It, instead of being blue and black combo, it is black with a suede purple color. And so that is ran throughout the whole interior, front seats, back seats, and the door panels. It's really nice. The AC panel on this car is all manual rather than being electric. So instead of having all those extra wires, you just have a few cables that are ran for selecting mode and fan speed. Also, the cable that runs from beside the driver's seat to the back has been eliminated. That's removed, and so you have to open the trunk manually. Speaking of the trunk, let's go take a look inside the trunk. All right, so let's open this bad boy up, and inside the trunk is an intercooler sprayer reservoir. So normally the Blobeye and Bug-Eye STIs, the reservoir is located in the engine bay, but the Spec C said, what's up? Let's put this 12-liter ginormous tank in here. Even though we're trying to shed some weight, let's go ahead and put it in there anyways. Not sure how this helps shed weight, but it's still a really cool feature specific to the Blobeye STi Spec C. Okay, so looking at the Spec C engine bay, there's not too much that jumps out at us at first. This customer, he's put a Tomei inlet and has a couple Beat Rush and Grimspeed dress up stuff going on. He's got the airbox and the Zero Sports elbow and all that. But from the factory, a few things that are different. One, it's missing the intercooler sprayer reservoir that normally goes here. Secondly, because it doesn't have the rear windshield wiper sprayer, this bottle only comes with one motor, so this is smaller too. It comes with a VF36 turbo. The Blobeye STi is a VF37, so it's a VF36. All Blobeye STIs in Japan come twin scroll rather than single scroll in America. So this is twin scroll. This customer has headers on it, Sims headers. He has a aftermarket downpipe that's catted, turbo blanket, a few cool things. But so what's special about the engine is a EJ207, right? Version 8 EJ207 comes twin scroll, like I mentioned. But this one's special because though it is semi-closed deck, it is not forged pistons like the version 7 STI has, but the crank has an extra oil galley so that there's a lot of extra oil that gets to the crank bearings, and so it just runs more efficiently. So we've looked at the differences between the Blobeye STi and the Blobeye STi Spec C. So now let's go take it for a drive. This car has a couple modifications done to it. It has 10 coilovers, Cusco front and rear sway bars, and a Cusco X brace on it. It should drive really well. Let's go take it for a drive. Here it is, the Legacy RS Type RA. Stay tuned for this video. And if you have any questions, we'll do the research, we'll figure out the answers, and it'll be in the next video. Stay tuned. Hey! Hey, God. You doing that thing?